because I thought when I schedule it, I picked the right orientation, but because my phone was this way when I was scheduling it, and now it needs to be this way. But you know what? I think there's a chat. So I would rather have a chat than not be oriented the right way. You guys are still gonna get to see everything, so that's all that matters. But I apologize for those of you who are just tuning in live or watching this on the replay. My name is Genevieve. This is my channel where I try to come live on a Sunday and we sew something together, and I share little bits of what I know about the sewing world or about business, having a crafty business, and really just sew here for fun. So we really tried not to make things perfect, and because they're not. All right. So far we've been working on Not Your Mama's Headband, and I love this pattern. Jen from Minnie in the Mountains is the pattern designer, and this pattern turns out so super fun. I think it is a great pattern for those of you who are doing craft fairs or doing markets. They will be the perfect stocking stuffers. And today I'm going to show you how to add a cork tag to this pattern. And so we're going to be doing that together. I tried to do a live earlier and I must have set it up that there was no comment area, no area for us to have a live chat, and I decided, you know what, then as I was sewing it froze, and I was like, you know, we need to start this over. I rescheduled it, and when I rescheduled it, I thought I turned it on to the right orientation, and it was because my phone was the right orientation that this direction looked like it was right. So it's not, but it is what it is. But please go grab Jen's pattern. If you are someone who likes to wear hair accessories. I'm not someone who wears a ton of hair accessories because I usually do braid my hair up and out of my face. I probably need to play with this a little bit and see if maybe I could braid my hair around it. That probably would look really cute. But I really felt like I have a bunch of tags in our shop that are statement type of tags. And so I do think that sometimes having those statement tags on an inside of a bag is really, really cool. Sometimes it's not, like if you're trying to make maybe a more elevated look of your bag, having those type of statement tags aren't always the type of tags you want to have on the outside of a bag. But I think, hi Jen, I do think Jen's pattern for the Not Your Mama's Headband is a great place to use some of these statement tags that we have in our stash, because we all love the Heartwood and Hide, and I'm sure many of us have purchased many of their statement tags, right? And then we do have, I work really closely with Jade and Chris from the Heartwood and Hide to design tags that coordinate with my fabrics, that do have different statements and things like that. That's where our Llama-tastic series comes from. That's what all of these headbands that I made are from. And so I will make sure, like I had on the last video, to pin Jen's pattern, to also pin where you can get my tags, where you can get Jade and Chris's tags from the Heartwood and Hide, and I'll also pin all of the fabrics and things that I'm using in this video, so that if you do want any of these, you will be able to go and get them. So again, this is our Llama-tastic series, and what you'll find with this is you can get the tags on their own, but I also have fat quarter packs. They are made out of, it's Kona cotton that I'm using. So Kona cotton's more like a quilt cotton weight. And so it's a little bit thicker than what maybe you would get like your cotton wovens at Joann's and so forth. So it does help add some structure to the headbands, but I do interface the main layer. So I did interface the main layer with a Sew Fuse Plus. I do not interface the bow area of the headband. And like I said, I do think these would be a great craft fair pattern, because I always feel like the booths that do well have 3 different price ranges in them. And when we're done here, maybe we'll have a little chat. If those of you who are doing this time of year is when everyone's ramping up to do like fall vendor fairs and markets, Christmas markets, and so forth, I do think having something that is in that $5 to $10, $12 price range, hi Gail, in your booth at a market is pretty important, because it's going to pull people. One, people do get pulled in from these types of items. I know, Linda, we just did the wrong orientation, right? But I do really think that that's something that pulls people in. So this would be a perfect thing. And I also think, oh, you're making headbands too. I also think this time of year for holiday gifts, everyone is looking for that price range of gift for someone's stocking or to add to a gift. And so this is the perfect thing if you are making bags, if you are doing some sort of apparel, to make headbands that match. I know that Jen has shared that over on hers. And so for the cost of what it is to make these, this could be a really big hit. And that was one of the reasons I felt like if you want to get a little bit more for the headbands, I would say these tags that have phrases and statements on them are going to be one of the things that some people will be like, oh, that's different than what I've seen. So I wanted to share that with you as well. So we have our headbands from our Llamatastic series. And then the two that I'm making today, I am making one of our Swiftmas. This is my own pattern, own design. If you know anything about Taylor Swift, you do know that she is from Pennsylvania, and that she has a song at the holidays called Christmas Tree Farm. And I feel like, as someone who enjoys Taylor, that song I think really embodies for me Pennsylvania in the holidays. I've had multiple questions about this fabric as far as like, why is there a toothbrush on it? I don't know, maybe that's only a Pennsylvania thing, but in the video, all of the stuff from that video is on this fabric that I could pull. And in that video, she does receive a toothbrush in her stocking. And that is something that we do. I don't know if that's a Pennsylvania Dutch thing or what, but yeah, there is a toothbrush, a pink toothbrush on here. But there is tags in that series. Jade and I, from the Heartwood Hide, she helped me design tags. And the one tag in this, it says Dear Santa. It's a friendship bracelet. The other one is a snow globe. The snow globe tag is a little bit bigger, so I don't think that that one would work for the headbands, but the Dear Santa one does work. So that's one of the headbands we're making. And then the other one we're making is with dyed fabric, because that's what I do. It's what I would think probably most people know me for. And I get a lot of times, I get people who are afraid to cut into their dyed fabric because they don't know what to make. And I would say also for craft fairs, if you're not sure what would sell, dyed fabric is a neutral. I really believe tie-dye in our age, tie-dye is a neutral, and so tie-dye can go with so many different outfits, so many different things, and this gives you something that you could use your dyed fabric for. You could make some money on it, and then also they just pop and look really, really cool. So I'm just using this remnant of dyed fabric. And then we do have a new tag coming to our website that I worked with Jade and Chris on a couple months ago, from the Heartwood Hide. There was just a lot happening in the community, in our own businesses. Stuff just felt like, it felt like there was a good month that things just weren't going right. And I don't know about you guys, if that's ever something like you just feel like it's one thing after another sometimes, right? And you try to continually find the positive and the optimistic, but sometimes you just got to laugh at the continually sloped down storm that's happening in life. And so we kind of have this little no longer secret joke amongst us of like, if stuff isn't going wrong, I just started texting them these 3 emojis because, you know, it's layered, and you know what, let's throw some icing on it. And so I know it's going to come through backwards for you guys, but it's flaming poop cake emoji. We're going to use this tag on the other one. I personally, it makes me laugh and giggle. And so these will be available on our website probably sometime this week. I have to take some pictures and pop them up there. So I will make sure that there is a link to everything that I'm sharing for you guys. So if there is anything that you want to purchase afterwards, you can. Now I am using my Bernina. I'm gonna try to tilt you guys here without making you freeze like I think maybe I did the last time. Can you guys see there? There we go. All right. So this is my Bernina 475 QE. It's the Cafesat version because it's nice and pretty teal, and that's one of my colors. I love this machine as much as I am afraid of it. I realized pretty early on that my Singer, 1970 Singers that was passed down to me from my great aunt was more semi-industrial than domestic when I bought this machine. And it's taken Jasmine and I, that's her name, some time to get to know one another. So I'm pretty dedicated that some of these Sunday Sew Lives will be on my domestic machine for my own purposes of continuing to learn. So I did already sew the tag onto this one, and that's where I don't know if people saw that or missed it. But this tag is about 1/8 of an inch from my center ironed line of the main portion of the headband, and it's about 5 inches from the tip of the end of the headband, and that kind of lands that tag pretty nicely if you're going to offset the knot. Okay, so that way the knot's kind of offset. This is kind of along the side. It's kind of like a hidden little message, but you know, some people might ask you, hey, what does your headband say? Like, I think that that's pretty cute. So that's where the tag placement is. And I iron this center fold, one, for when we turn it out, it just helps it look nice and crisp, but also so that I can find where I'm placing my tag. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold it in half the opposite way, and we're going to clip, and I'm going to leave about a 2-inch, 1.5-inch area here to turn this right side out when I'm sewing it. How is everybody doing today? Thank you for bearing with me while I got things going here. Yesterday was a good day, but it was an emotional day, and I feel like, if you guys were here with me and Katie and Jade on Friday night for our first Bob and Buddies bash, it was so much fun, but it was 6 hours long, thanks to Katie. I felt probably a little hungover, I think. And then I had a wedding to go to for one of my Girl Scouts that I was the leader for. And it's very emotional to see a young person who I mean, she was my Girl Scout from the time she was 5 until she graduated from high school. So, and she's good friends with my daughter. So, as you guys know, I'm going through some empty nester syndrome. And the whole ride home from the wedding, I just bawled. It was an hour and a half away. It was very emotional, like made me really miss my kids since they're both off at college. And I kept on like trying to like convince myself, like, this is silly. Like, why are you upset? And then I messaged a friend, and a friend of mine was like, this is normal. You need to get it out of your system. Like, it is okay to like miss them. And yeah, so it was very emotional. And then I didn't really sleep super hot last night because probably my emotions were all over the place. So yeah, so I apologize for not having things fully squared away this morning with the YouTube situation, but I appreciate you all being here. All right, so I just made sure to backstitch really good at either end. And so now to turn this out, I don't have a fancy turner like many people do. So I'll show you what I use. So here, I'm just going to turn this corner in a little bit and push it in there. And then I grab my pen from my iPad and that's what I use to push it through. It works pretty good. Probably shouldn't use it for that, but that's what I use. Where your tag is, it is a little bit hard getting that to pull through, but it pulls through. And your tags bounce back, okay? You don't have to stress about it getting a little wrinkly or anything. That cork is going to bounce back just fine. And then I just use the tip of my pen to push that little corner out and like push that seam out. Okay. You might hear some equipment in the background. My husband's working on my studio. Finally getting, I think, some sides up today, maybe. All right, so now I have that part of that one done. I'm not going to close it just yet because I'm going to do my other one. This is where I feel like this pattern also for craft fairs, batchable, so batchable, Jen. Again, with all your scraps, like, gosh, if you're sewing bags and you have, like, just make one with the scraps from the bag, man. If you're going to sell your bags, because I do think, like, just cut one out, set them aside, and then just one day before your show, pump out a bunch of these headbands. Because I just have a feeling if you sell these, and like I said, anywhere between, if you're putting tags on, don't sell them for $5, $6, okay? If you're putting tags on, go to the $12 mark. I'm always someone that, like, go for the higher end than the lower end when you're making things. But even if you sold them for $10, right? I feel like they are going to sell for hotcakes, and anybody who bought a bag from you is going to be like, I will definitely buy the matching headband. So there's that one. I'm going to wait to do my bows. I'm going to do my bows last. So now I'm going to do my flaming poop cake. And we're going to position that one. Let me find my ruler here. So I'm doing 5 inches from the tip of the headband, and then it's about 1/8 of an inch down from that folded area. This one I am going to wear, Jen, I promise you. This one is for me. So I promise that one of my next tutorials, this will be on my head, okay? All right, so I want to change my stitch length to about a 4. And now we're just gonna go straight down. I'm still learning for my domestic machine, like, what is the actual top stitch length to do a tag. So I feel like the 4 is a little long. I might have to start doing it like a 3.5 to like end perfectly with my tags. Do you guys know what I'm talking about there? Yeah, because I always feel like I'm not quite sure if one more is gonna do it or not. Yeah. So he's like, I'm gonna crank it and make sure it's at the edge. There we go. And then I'm just gonna pull those threads through, tie them off. So Jen is saying I price yours at 12 and they fly. Yeah, I would say, you know, really know your mark. I know, like, around here, I live in the country, y'all. And so definitely in this type of area, sometimes, I mean, I talk about this a lot. Your craft is an art. You are an artist, okay? But I do think some areas tend to not see sewing and crafting as an art. And I live in one of those areas, and I think it's because there is a prominent population of, nothing against them whatsoever, but there's a prominent, you know, Mennonite and Amish community not far from me. You know, it's kind of almost seen as, even though they can get nice money for their stuff, it's kind of seen not as an art here. And I have family that lives in other areas like Colorado and Florida and stuff, and I feel like art is seen, like crafting is seen as an art in some of those places, so you can get more for. So just kind of feel out your market here. But I agree, Jen, I think 12, they will fly off your booth table. I think if you add a tag, 15 is probably, you know, you're not asking for too much. Because if someone really loves the statement of the tag, I think they're gonna buy it, you know. So and I really do like this machine. The more I use it, the more I get comfortable with it. I do like that it has like an adjustable tension. I've tried making a few bags, small things with it. So maybe eventually I'll get to the place where I could do like an actual bag. Because this is similar to what Jess from Oka Roots uses. It's actually the same model, I think. It's just not the Tula Pink one. It's the Calf Passat. So mine has like a couple extra quilting stitches on it, I think. Maybe. But I couldn't pass it up with it being blue. And the reason I stopped using my 1970s Singer is the feed dogs on it. I can no longer find it. I've looked everywhere. They're really worn down. It was my, like I said, it was my great aunt's. All right, so we're gonna turn this one in. We're gonna grab our trusty turning tool. Jen's like, I make 25 at a time. Yeah, I think, like I said, if you're making bags all year round, I would just cut one of these out, set it aside. Okay. So now I'm just gonna, this one's cute. I like it. Push my corners out. And this colorway of dyed fabric, it will be available eventually. I think I have it set. It was kind of like, had like a tropical vibe to it, in my opinion. So I think it'll be sometime next spring. All right, so there's my two pieces for the headband portion. Now I'm going to sew my bow area. So I don't have these interfaced at all. We're just going to piece them together, and we're going to leave an opening to turn them out. But I also, Jen, while I was doing this the first time, I was like, this little tied off bow, guys, this would be a cute little like accent on a bag. So don't, like, especially like if you did like the dyed fabric, like if you have peekaboo areas of dyed fabric and you want like an accent of dyed fabric on the outside, Jen, I'm definitely going to be doing that for a bag. So don't be afraid to use things that aren't for bags necessarily made for it. Jen, I don't know if you've ever done that before, because I feel like that's something that would be super cute. I'm going to leave a little bit of an opening here. Back stitch at the beginning and the end. I know there's a bunch of like Cricut templates to make bag accents. I've never done them because my Cricut always makes me angry. I could see how this could get, this pattern could get hypnotic, right? Like, you just get into it and you make a bunch of them. I think if you're doing things like as far as apparel for shows, like either even doing like t-shirts and stuff, like doing screen printing, having some print fabric that's in the same as your screen print and making these headbands to go with the t-shirts would be super cute. Making them for your kids, like sports. There's a lot of options with this baby. I feel like one of the things I probably would have done when my son was in school and my niece, they were in band. And so my niece was in band front. This would have definitely been a pattern that we would have made some headbands for some of the different like themed football games. I have to remember my hole on this one. I went straight down. One thing about this machine compared to my Sailrite is it's so quiet. I mean, it's supposed to be, obviously. My Sailrite isn't super loud. It's just, you know, it makes a different, it's a different type of tune. Okay, so we have those. We have to turn those right side out now. So we're gonna do that. The only thing about this pattern, Jen, that I don't love, and I'm sure most of us don't love this part, turning anything right side out. That's small, especially for me. I think that's, for me, it's like my hands from dyeing fabric all summer don't want to work. I probably should buy one of those turning tools. Oh, it is what it is, though. We still do it because we love the end result, so. How fun would these be for like a themed birthday party or something too, for girls? Oh my gosh. that would have been something I would have done like with my daughter and her friends for like a sleepover or something. Like, I feel like this also, as a Girl Scout leader, this is actually a really great pattern for a sewing Girl Scout badge. It's simple. It's just a straight stitch. They'll get like a real completed project that they can wear. It's not a pillowcase. It's not, you know, oh my gosh, my Girl Scouts would have loved that. Because a lot of times Girl Scouts for sewing, it's, you know, you're making little things that are more like a scrunchie, you know, but I feel like this just levels that up a little bit. So yeah, this would be a really cute Girl Scout, Cub Scout. I know Cub Scouts, you'd have to think of something else for the young lads if they didn't want a headband. But yeah, this is a cute, perfect first sewing pattern. All right, so now that I have all these turned out, we're gonna go over and we're gonna iron everything. This is definitely one. I am a fan of pressing. I am a fan of pressing. I'm just not a fan of setting it all up. So, but this is one where I feel like before you top stitch it, you need to press it. Okay. So we're gonna go over and press it, and I'm gonna go grab my headbands because they're over in my bedroom. I had them over there. So I'm gonna turn you guys around to the pressing area. Okay. We're gonna set our stuff there so we have everything. Make sure this little baby is turned on. And then you're gonna want to buy your big pack of headbands. Jen, do you have an Amazon store link for this? Feel free to put your Amazon link for these in the comments. You get, how many do you get in here? 25, I think it was. I mean, if you are sewing to sell, this was like super cheap. They're not expensive at all. So again, it's a low cost, batchable pattern that you definitely could sell a bunch of them. All right, so I'm just gonna fold my little areas in that need to be folded in, my little open areas. I'm just gonna make sure all my seams are rolled out nice. And then for when you're ironing this, I iron the opposite side from the tag. So that way I'm not ironing over the tag, but I am getting that, that area like flat and nice, okay? So there's that one. Sometimes if it looks like I need to do it on the top, I'll iron next to it, but I don't iron over the top of my tag. It's cork, so it probably wouldn't hurt the cork, but any of your design here that is printed on there, that would just, the iron will just take it right off. So just be mindful of that. But I think we all probably have, I mean, I have a big booklet of tags. I have tags hanging up here. We probably all have tags that we wouldn't necessarily use on a bag, but this would be a perfect project for them. I love this little Cricut iron. It comes in handy so much. when I don't want to pull out the big one. I think I'm going to do this side. The bow is the one that you kind of really have to like roll your seam out to get that shape. Okay, so now we have them ironed. We're going to grab 2 of our headbands. And I guess it doesn't really matter what color, just as long as, depending on your fabric, maybe you won't want to use the black, right? If it's a darker fabric, that's when you would probably want to use that. All right, we're going to turn it around here. Hi. All right, I'm going to read some comments. I don't think that worked. I have no idea how to add a clickable link on chats. Oh, girl. Well, if you send me your link for your headbands, that's the one that I'll put in the details, because you gave us the pattern and you told us where to get these, so you should get the credit for that. All right. So now what I do, I think this is a little different than Jen did and others did. But I do put, obviously I put the headband in, but I'm going to put the headband in the wrong way so that my tag is actually in there. Okay, like so. All right, and you'll see why I'm going to do that. All right, so I'm going to do that for both. Oh, it'll be so nice when my studio is done. I cannot wait. I haven't decided yet if we're gonna move my sewing machine. We'll see if we can move my sewing machines out there, or I'm not sure what I want to do, because I feel like if I move them out there in the wintertime when it's cold, am I gonna want to go outside to get inside? Maybe not. So we'll see. Sorry for the noise. That's my husband moving stuff over. All right, we're oh my God, you guys, I'm so sorry. Oh, it's been real, y'all. It's been real. It's been, maybe we needed this tag today. All right, we're back. All right, well, the reason that I do this, that I have it the opposite direction, is I am going to top stitch this entire side. All right, and so I'm going to top stitch it from that way. All right, and you're going to see that because I have it this direction, the headband is going to curl along the back. All right, so I'm going to top stitch this. I have to kind of push that little area through so it doesn't get stuck like it did just now. This is the part of using this machine that I haven't fully got myself used to yet. All right, there we go. Come on. Okay, let's try that again. Starting a little bit further up here. All right. I'm gonna put it there. Put our headband out of the way. And now we're gonna, come on. You can start. Anytime now, you can sew. Come on. Are you gonna sew? Are you gonna do something? You're not jammed anymore. All right. What does she need to do to get back on track here? It's so weird. Like, not feeling like you know what you're doing on a domestic machine. Because I would, you know, most people, it's like, it's an industrial machine that gets them frustrated. Not me. All right, let's see. Are you gonna sew now? Nope. Anybody know what I should do? I'm gonna just turn her off and turn her back on. Maybe she just needs to reset herself. There we go, girlfriend. All right. Oh my goodness, this is what I mean. Like, it's not even that thick. And I don't understand, like, what her problem is. But, like, that's not thick at all. And it seems like that sets her into a hissy fit. Anybody know what I'm doing wrong? And it's not like on the headband or anything. All right, now she's saying sure. All right, let's do this. So I'm just top stitching, making sure the headband isn't in the way. An 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Yeah, careful, don't scare yourself. Like, that just scared me. All right, so now I'm gonna pull my threads through on either side there. And now I'm just gonna flip it around. So we have a nice top stitch across the top here, and we have our headband inside there. All right, let's do our tie-dyed one. Hopefully she doesn't give us issues this time. And make sure you're not going up inside your machine with it, but there we go. All right, now we can do our bows. So I'm just gonna flip this one around now. There we have, and you probably, if you wanted to do this headband and just put a tag in the center and not have a bow, you could do that too. I would just top stitch. If that was the case, I would probably top stitch both sides. Yeah, I have. It's just the way Gail's like, have you tried sewing it with the table off using the free arm? Yes, I have. The way my setup right now, that is one of the reasons why I've thought about moving my machines out into the studio. My setup right now is like, everything is so cramped here. I really do need to rearrange or try to, every time I take this off, I have to like maneuver things, and I'm lazy and just don't do it, Gail. So yes, you are correct. I could totally do that. All right, I'm going to top stitch around my bows now. Oh my goodness, you know what I just thought of? We need to find, again, I'm not a mini sewer. I don't like mini sewing projects, but this is, I would have done this for my daughter, is what I'm gonna say. If there are American Girl sized headbands that you could do a miniature version of this and make a headband for, I would have done it for my daughter's American Girl dolls. I would have made them matching headbands. That totally would have been a thing. Jen, maybe you need to make a miniature version of the pattern. Okay, so there's one. Now we're gonna sew the other. Okay. Super cute, super fast. All right, so now I'm gonna just tilt a little bit here to show you how I position the bows. So one of the things that when I did my first ones, I was like trying to figure out like, how do I tie this so that I can see my good top stitch on both sides. So you can actually, if you twist underneath like this, Jen, I don't know if you showed something like this. Maybe you did. And then pull it through to do the knot. You'll get your good top stitching on the top on both sides. And then you can just move it and position it how you want it. Super cute. All right, let's do this one. So again, I'm just twisting this underneath, okay? Just once. And then what you're gonna do is it's over and under. You just play with it till you have your knot the way you like it. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. Yeah, I'll definitely be wearing this one. There we have it. Are these, oh, there they are. I have some. They are plastic. What were we discussing? I don't know what we were discussing now. That they are plastic. So yeah, just go around and make sure you don't have any little threads anywhere. Make them look nice and neat. What a perfect, fun gift pattern, which and I do think I have a video about this. If you are someone who does sew to sell, one of the really important things is that, of course, Jen, one of the really important things when you are sewing to sell is to think about it in this regard. You need your featured product. So I always tell everybody, this is the product that you kind of want people to know you for. All right. It's the product that you want people to be kind of like, wow, that kind of stands out from everybody else. And I mean, there could be someone else who has that same silhouette of a doll headband. Oh, they're plastic. Yeah, I wonder if how it would work. I definitely would have to take the bet off for that, right? But that's a good idea. So even if they, like, say it's the bucket bag, say it's like a bucket bag pattern, that you could have multiple, go have lunch, enjoy. You could have multiple people at a craft fair who are selling a bucket bag type of silhouette, right? But everybody's going to do it a little differently. That could be your feature product, right? You know it's something, it's a silhouette that most people use in some shape or form, right? But you're going to put your spin on it. So you always need to have, I personally feel, a featured product. Then you need your low ticket item. You need that item that's like anybody and everybody could see a reason to buy it. It's usually the gifting product on your table. So you want something like that, something that's that gifting, low ticket item that anyone could grab. So someone who bought your bucket bag, they could maybe grab one of them as well. But anybody who walks by, they could think of someone they could give that to, and it's like a gifting price point. And then you want your kind of your wow factor items. So that might be a higher investment like bag. It could be that you offer custom, but to think about it in that like threes. All right. Because those are usually the booths that I see. And also when I did it myself a lot, those were the people who were successful. Having a lot of different silhouettes, you know, like making a bunch of different patterns. Don't get me wrong, it's fun and people might stop and look, but I would say you probably aren't going to see as much success with that as having 3 items, because just 3 like types of items, because all of us, it's overwhelming. And so you want people to make the simplest, easiest, quickest decision choice at those events, especially when there's so many people sitting around you. So I definitely feel like this item is definitely your low ticket. Anyone could buy it, as well as the add-on item that goes with like your main show. So Jen, thank you for this pattern. I really appreciate you all tuning in with me live, bearing with me with all my YouTube technicalities. We'll get there eventually. And if you do want any of these tags, if you do want the pattern, if you want any of the fabrics that I used, I will make sure when we're all done here to pin all of that to the details so that you can go and shop them and check them out. And I'll get the headband link from Jen as well. Have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. I hope you get to sew something today. And if not, I appreciate you tuning in live with me. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and leave a comment for me. Have a great day.